Okay, here's a video on how to find circumference and area, as well as how using the circumference and the area, we can find the diameter or radius. So first, a review of how to find circumference. So finding circumference given the radius. A circle has a radius of 8 inches. What is the circle's circumference? So our first step is always to write the formula. So the formula is c equals 2 times pi times radius. The second step is to plug in the numbers. So the numbers for this problem we would plug in would be circumference equals 2 times 3.14 times 8. Lastly, we find the answer and write on the units. So if I did 2 times 3.14 times 8 in my calculator, I would get 50.26 inches as my answer. Second problem is finding circumference given the diameter. So for example, if a circle has a diameter of 12 inches, what is the circle's circumference? So the first step, always write the formula. So for this one, the formula is c equals pi times diameter because we're given the diameter. Second, we plug in the numbers. So we do c equals 3.14 times 12. Then we find our answer and write on the units. So I would do 3.14 times 12 in my calculator and get 37.68 inches. So next, if we want to work backwards, so say we want to find the diameter given the circumference. If a circle has a circumference of 31.4 inches, what's the circle's diameter? So to do this problem, we work backwards through the formula for circumference by dividing the circumference by pi using 3.14 for pi, because the opposite of multiplication is division. So we would do 31.4 divided by 3.14, which would give us 10 inches as our answer. If we were asked to find the radius given the circumference, there'd be one extra step to the last problem. Because the radius is half the diameter, lastly, we would divide by 2. So for example, if we had a circle has a circumference of 56.52 inches, what is the circle's radius? So we go backwards to the formula for circumference by dividing the circumference by pi. Use 3.14 for pi. This will give you the diameter. To find the radius, divide the diameter by 2. So we start by doing 56.2 divided by 3.14. We get 18 inches is the diameter. So we would then take that and divide it by 2 to get the radius 9 inches. Okay, anytime we have the diameter, we can always divide it by 2 to find the radius. Next, finding the area given the radius. A circle has a radius of 8 inches. What is the circle's area? So like always, we always start by writing the formula. So the formula for area is area equals pi times radius to the second power, or radius times radius. Plug in the numbers. So we do 3.14 times 8 to the second power. Find the answer and write the units on. So the answer would be 200.96 inches to the second power inches squared because it's area. Nextly, we want to find the area if we have the diameter. Keep in mind, just like radius, times 2 is the diameter. Diameter divided by 2 will give us the radius. And we have to find the radius in order to find area. So the first step is to divide the diameter by 2 to find the radius. So we would do 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Second step, write the formula. Always write the formula. So area equals pi times radius squared. Step 3, plug in the numbers. So we're going to plug in 3.14 times 2 to the second power. Find the answer and write on the units. So the correct answer would be 12.56 inches squared. Okay. Then say we wanted to find the radius if we had the area. This one's a little trickier. We have to find the square root of our answer because the opposite of squaring a number is to take the square root of that number. So if our question is a circle has an area of 153.86 inches squared, what is the circle's radius? So go backwards to the formula for area by dividing the area by pi. Use 3.14 for pi. Then find the square root of that answer. That will give us the radius. So in this problem, we would do 153.86 divided by 3.14, which gives us 49. Then we would find the square root of 49, or what number times itself is 49, which we've been working on through Skill Builders. We would find that the answer is 7 inches. The last type of problem you might run across is if you want to find the diameter given the area. This you're going to do just like the last problem, except in the last step, you're going to multiply by 2 because the radius doubled is the diameter. So if you have a circle that has an area of 153.86 inches squared, what is the circle's diameter? Not radius, this should say diameter. We would go backwards to the formula for area by dividing the area by pi, use 3.14 for pi, then find the square root of the answer. This will give you the radius. To find the diameter, multiply the radius by 2. So 153.86 divided by 3.14, still 49. The square root of 49 is 7. Then to find the diameter, we would do 7 times 2, which is 14 inches.